Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast for a thriving life and business. And we are live Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And you can hear the podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, and many more. So today we continue to talk about part 3 of how to know the steps to become your authentic self in life and in business. And you're going to learn what is inauthentic and what you can do to shift it, change it, and transform it so that you can become more authentically you in your life and in your business. I'm your host, Nancy Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive business expert. I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities. And this show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. So, what is authentic? What does that really mean? And the way that I define being authentic is being real, being true to yourself, being in integrity with you and with yourself and what feels right, what feels in alignment with your authentic self, which is your soul, the core energy essence of who you are, and your higher self, the wise, unconditionally loving part of you. And when you are being your authentic self, you are being your higher self and your soul. And that is what this is all about. I really believe that we are here to embody our souls, to live our potential, to be that authentic being that we are, and to live our life purpose and our mission, and to transform our life and to transform ourselves. And in doing so, we transform the world. And we all know the world needs it right now. So wherever you are in the world, we definitely need that. Sending lots of healing light and prayers to Jamaica and all that's going on there. And I know there are many places in the world that need our prayers. So prayers are going out to all of those places. So let's talk authentic. So a way, and I'm going to go back to my list. I know the listeners that come regularly, the viewers, listeners that come regularly, then they put their questions in the chat. Love the lists. So what we're going to do is talk about a way that would be inauthentic and then go to ways you can be authentic. So if you are hiding your emotions so that you can look strong, you're being inauthentic. Now, many of you may have learned that you had to hide your emotions in order to be safe, in order to be loved, in order to be taken care of, or whatever that is. And what I'm letting you know is that now, for you to be that authentic self that you are, it would be learning to be able to express yourself, your true emotions, coming from your truth and not having to look strong. So it's really allowing yourself to feel and express your emotions in healthy ways. And the way that I say that is healthy is you're not hurting yourself, you're not hurting anyone else, and you're not hurting the environment, like destroying property. And so expressing yourself in healthy ways. So let's say it's learning to be able to get in touch with your feeling and then be able to communicate that feeling if you need to. So when I say you need to, it would be to make a decision if it's appropriate to express that feeling or not. And I see, Misty, I see that what you, I will get to your comment shortly. I just want to finish the thought that I'm on. And so being authentic and being able to communicate from that authentic place and making the decision, because there are times where you may be in touch with a feeling and it's not about communicating that to someone else. And then there are times where it's really important in order to maintain the relationship or to have a healthier relationship, you need to be able to communicate that feeling, what you're feeling, in a healthy way, owning your piece and saying, I am feeling and expressing your needs. So, all of those are important communication pieces in order to have authentic, healthy communication in your relationships. So let's get to Misty's. Misty says authentic can be hidden from your own self. Okay. So, two things to say about that, Misty. Um, I really feel that what happens in our journey of life is that as you're in the journey, you discover as you get older and wiser, you discover more and more of who you really are, that authentic self. And yes, it may be hidden from you or but as you grow and as you heal, and remember, your authentic self is not a destination, it's a journey. It's the journey to become your authentic self. And it's in the becoming and the process of becoming where this huge growth and this opportunity for you to expand and to understand yourself and self discovery, it's such a huge opportunity. And so learning about who you really are and what you really want and what feels right to you, it is a journey. So yes, you're right, sometimes it can be hidden, and it can be also hidden to keep yourself safe. Like, if it wasn't safe to truly express yourself in healthy ways, truly express your feelings in healthy ways, you may hide your true feelings because it wasn't safe. But as you heal, as you grow, as you transform, you start feeling more comfortable with your true feelings. You start allowing yourself to express your feelings, your true feelings to people that feel safe. And you start allowing more and more of your authentic self to come out, and you allow yourself to become more and more authentic. So that's another way that you become in the journey of becoming more authentically you. And like I said, it is a journey. It's an unfolding journey for all of you. Remember that. You don't have to get it right. You don't have to be perfect, because all of those that you would put on yourself are all the have tos and the shoulds, which is not authentic. So remember, it's a process. And you're unfolding. Even you listening to the show, whether you're live or listening at another time or viewing it another time, the fact that you are means there's something here for you. And I acknowledge you for being here. And we have Anastasia says, the more you live, the more you learn. That is true. Exactly what I said is that as you get older and wiser, and you learn more and more about yourself and what feels authentic, what feels right, and so, and what feels true, what feels safe, and learning that it's okay more and more to be you rather than the way you grew up, or the masks that you had to be in order to be safe or to be loved or to be taken care of. So, and if any of you have any questions about that, let me know. So, another way that you could be inauthentic without even realizing it is when you're comparing yourself to others. Now, comparison is definitely a human thing. And I think we all compare. I mean, I know I played the comparison game a lot, especially when it comes to my business. Oh, that person's on social media, or that person's doing this or this or that. And social media, whether it's your business or your life, like, how come they have all these friends? And what's wrong with me? So you can be in the comparison game, and you're not alone. And what I want you to know, that learning to be more and more authentically you is learning to stop comparing. And it's learning to celebrate you, and to learn to celebrate your unique journey, the unique person that you are, and that there is no comparison. There are no two people, even twins. There are no two people exactly alike. And that each of you is on your unique journey, your unique path, and your soul has planned it all before you came in. Any obstacles and adventures and things you need to overcome. So I really want you to know, why bother comparing? Because you can't compare yourself to someone else, because you're all on your own unique path. Now, the other thing that I want to say is, stop comparing yourself to you. Like, let's say a few years ago, let's say you were doing better, and I'm putting that in air quotes. You were doing better, or things were better, or, you need to remember that the journey you're on, that even if you go backwards, there's a reason why you have delays and setbacks on your journey. The path and your vision is not a straight line. It's not a straight line up the mountain, and it's not a straight line wherever you want to go. The journey, the goal, the destination. It looks more like a scribble this and that and all the way around. That's the journey. And so comparing yourself to yourself or others doesn't work. This is about celebrating where you are right now and the opportunity that you have to understand how is this happening for you instead of happening to you. That's one of the things one of my mentors says is, how is this happening for you so that you can learn from this experience, and what is it trying to teach you? I say it in different ways. You've heard me say instead of beating yourself up for a mistake, it's learning. It's a learning opportunity, and that's the journey of life. Any experience that you have is the learning opportunity. So, now this is a biggie, and I already mentioned it, but I'm going to mention it again. Being inauthentic is when you're striving for perfection. If you think that you're going to get it perfect, you are wrong, because you are human. And every single one of us, as a human being, is going to make mistakes, is going to have challenges and obstacles and things that we have to overcome. Life can get messy. Life is not going to be perfect. It isn't truth. And so this is about learning. This is about learning to let go of the perfection and to focus on your progress, to focus on the step by step that you are taking in the journey of your life, in the journey of becoming your authentic self. And it's not a race, and you don't have to be perfect. It's step by step, and it could be baby steps. It doesn't have to be big leaps. It doesn't have to be huge steps. It could be step by step by step, baby steps, and you'll still get there. It's better to have the progress step by step than to think that you have to be perfect before you get it all right before you do something or move forward or say something. And so I really want to support you. You do not have to be perfect. Your new slogan is, I choose to have progress. I choose progress over perfection. Okay, I know, Mickey. There is no such thing as perfect, Mickey says. And Mickey is right. There is no perfection, no such thing. So, human, you're perfectly human. And it's perfectly okay to be who you are. I want to remind you that. Okay? So, it's okay. You don't have to be perfect. And I remember, years ago when I was in therapy, this just popped into my mind, so I'm going to tell you. So years ago, when I was looking for my first apartment, and I was in therapy, and I was like, I got to have this, and I got to have that, and I got to have this, and it has to be perfect. And my therapist said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough. It has to feel right. And so that I took that and I went looking, and I found a place that was good enough. My first apartment by myself, it was good enough. It wasn't perfect, but it was good enough. And so what I want to remind you, you don't have to be perfect. And the reason why I'm spending a long time on this is because so many of us have the perfect thing. I know, I do. I have. And I always got it? Have I totally overcome it? I'm working on it. Just like you. I'm working on it too. It's a journey. Remember, journey, not destination. So, yes, thank you all. And another way that you can be inauthentic is if you try to numb out or you're disconnected. And numbing out or being disconnected is a survival mechanism. You shut down, you go numb, you tune out to survive. And what I invite you to do is to start becoming aware. Start becoming aware. Am I numbing out? Am I tuning out? Am I disconnecting? Now, I also want to just say that there are times, tuning out or disconnecting in moderation and healthy ways. Like, let's say, like, for example, I'll give you an example. If you have had a long day and you want to tune out or disconnect and just veg out and watch a TV show. And I don't mean TV show like all day long. Hopefully you're working or doing things that are in alignment with your soul. But then there is a time where, okay, you want to disconnect, or you may want to go out in nature and just kind of chill out, or take a time out to just daydream. So moments of disconnection, moments of tuning out, I think that that's part of being human. You can't always be on all the time. But if you're numbing out and you're disconnecting, so much so that you're not being authentic and you're not feeling you're able to make a connection, an authentic connection to yourself and to others, then that's where it becomes a challenge. That's where it becomes a problem. And so I really want to support you in those cases to reach out for support, to reach out for therapy or counseling or support groups to help you to to learn how to move through so that you're not numbing out or disconnecting. And one of the ways that you can come back into alignment and be connected again is by reconnecting with your body, your feelings, and your spirit through self awareness and mindfulness. So when you notice, oh, I'm tuning out, or oh, I feel really disconnected, or oh, I feel like I'm numbing out, then when you notice this is and maybe you're going to hear my voice like, oh, this is what Nancy was talking about. Oh, oh, this is what she meant. Okay, you know what can I do to reconnect? Ask yourself that. What can I do to reconnect right here, right now? And maybe it's taking a deep breath, breathing, noticing, and allowing yourself to really become present with your body, become present with your feeling. What am I really feeling right now in this moment? What can I do to reconnect with my soul, my spirit? What will support me in making a reconnection? So you can ask yourself those questions. The first thing is the awareness, though. It's the awareness. And now, in relationships, a way that you could be inauthentic is if you avoid conflict and stay quiet. So if you stay quiet and you not speak your truth in order to avoid conflict, you're being inauthentic. Now you may say to yourself, "Well, I don't want conflict. I don't want to be. I would rather have no conflict." But here's the thing: if you're in an intimate relationship or a deep friendship, and you're not allowing yourself to be your authentic self, you're not allowing yourself to be quiet. You stay quiet and you're not allowing yourself to speak your truth so that you're avoiding conflict. You're not helping yourself, and you're also not helping the relationship. Because what happens is that when you avoid the conflict and you stay silent, what usually happens, and I know because I've been doing therapy and counseling with people for years, and couple counseling. And if you do not speak your truth and say what you're feeling and what you mean, and you shut it down and you shut it down, that is actually hurting yourself. And instead of speaking your truth, you may have physical symptoms. You may use addictive behaviors like food or smoking or drinking to numb it out, to shut it down. And that is not helping you. And what happens in the relationship, and then what may happen is you may get angrier and angrier and more resentful because you're not speaking your truth. And the relationship can't sustain itself. It won't sustain itself. It'll break apart. And so you owe it. You don't owe it. I support you. That's the better way for me to say it for you. I support you in finding a way to speak your truth so that you can be heard by the other person. And if you are so afraid of the other person and that you can't speak your truth, then then maybe you're in a toxic relationship and you need to look at, is that a relationship you want to stay in? And is there a way that you can speak your truth? And again, there are healthy ways to say it. It's really important that when you're in a relationship, you're never youing somebody. You did this and you're so stupid. That's going to totally put someone on the defense and that will create conflict. You want to find a way to speak your truth that will reduce conflict. And that is owning your feelings, owning your part of your responsibility for what's ever going on, and how I felt about their behavior. Remember, the behavior, not the person. And I've done shows, you can go back, on communication and healthy communication. So I really support you and there are books like Marshall Rosenberg's book, Nonviolent Communication, is a great book to get to help you in healthy communication. And that's what I want to support you in doing. And so it's learning to speak your truth in a healthy way, calmly and clearly, Before you speak your truth, you want to make sure you're clear and you're calm about what you want to say. And even if it's uncomfortable. And if you're if you're in anger, you know that I'm coaching you. Do not engage if you're really angry. Do not engage if you're intensely emotional. Wait until you process things through so that you can speak to the other person in a calm, clear way and healthy way. Another way that you can be inauthentic is if you're overgiving in order to earn love or approval. So if you're overgiving to earn love or approval, you're being inauthentic. And um, it's learning to give from your truth, from that place of heart and soul, coming from wanting to give, not feeling obligated to give. And it's learning when to say yes. And this goes back to what we were talking about last week. When to say yes when you mean yes, and when to say no when you need to say no. It's important not to overgive. And that is another learning opportunity and journey. And I'm going to tell you that I really feel our greatest teachers are our relationships, because our relationships can be the most challenging parts of being alive. But boy, do you learn. Do you learn? And I know I've been there. For the most part, I'm very grateful for all my relationships. And there's still a relationship here or there that definitely challenges me. But I'm grateful because the thing that I can say that I've created for myself is I've created an inner circle, a community of amazing women that I know that I can speak my truth. I can be my authentic self. And if I'm upset, I'll tell them the truth. And what's so amazing is that we're able to work it out. We're able to express it and work it through. That's the sign of a healthy relationship. And I want to support you in finding your support system where you can be authentically you and be supported and cheered and loved for who you are. That's what I want for all of you. Another way that you may be inauthentic is that you would hide. You would hide you'd hide parts of yourself to get loved or approved of. And this happens very often in relationships, especially in the honeymoon. I'm doing the air quotes again. So for those of you who are listening. So if you are in a new relationship or an updated one and you're back in the honeymoon phase where you don't really allow yourself to be totally you, you hide those parts until the honeymoon's over. And that's what happens to your partner. And then you both say to yourself, who is this person? Because you didn't share who you really were. And some people may never want to share those parts of themselves because there's too much shame, or you feel so ashamed of those parts. And so what happens is you're hiding yourself. You're hiding your true authentic self. And here's the thing, not that this part is the authentic part. It could be a part of you that may be having challenges, or a part of you that needs healing or help. Or it could be a part that really is a part of your soul and you're afraid to share that part. I remember I have always been spiritual, and I've always been holistic since I was a kid. I was always unconventional. And when I met my husband, I'm divorced now. When I met my husband, I I shared with him that I was holistic and spiritual and into, unconventional things. And he was like, sure, 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 no problem. He was all on board for that. And and then what ended up happening was, as we got further into the relationship, that it wasn't okay. He started making fun of me. And he started putting down those things that were very important to me. They were my soul. And I didn't hide from him who I was, but he was hiding from me, saying he accepted it when he really didn't. He wasn't accepting me. Look, I know I learned so much from that experience, and it was a very important of my life path, my life learning. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the whole experience now. And I know now what I want, what's important for me in any relationship, whether it's a partnership or a friendship. I will not tolerate being with somebody where I can't be me. And I really want to support all of you, that's what I want for all of you, that you are able to be you and share who you are in your life, in your business, in your relationships, because that's so important to have an inspired and empowered life. So, a way that you're being inauthentic in business is that you copy other people's styles or strategies, and you don't find your own tune. That was what came to me, the word that came to me. You But it's really finding your own voice, finding your authentic voice. And what I do is I see Arnie. Hey Arnie, good to see you. And what it's finding your authentic voice and finding your authentic truth and expressing that in your work, in your business. And it's so important, because ultimately, to have that successful business that you want to be you. You want to share who you are and authentically be that authentic self, so that the people that work with you are your raving fans. That's what you want. Okay, so we have Arnie making some comments. Exactly what I speak on. Yay, Arnie. All right, I love it. And your authentic you. I love it. See, that's what it's all about. And I really want to support all of you. If you need to find your authentic voice, that's what I do with people too, is I help you be able to find that authentic you. and to be able to bring it all together so that you create a powerful, successful, healthy, prosperous business. So that's what it's about, learning to be authentically you. And then another way in business that you would not be authentic is that you chase trends instead of your purpose. So if you're trying to be on the biggest trend now, whatever that trend is, and you're not fulfilling your purpose, or you're not in alignment with your soul, then you will falter, and you will then be not be able to be in alignment. And when you're not in alignment in your business, you will not create the amazing, successful business that you deserve, that you desire. Because successful business people are in alignment with their soul. And I'm all about the soul and being in alignment, heart and soul, and living from that purpose, living from that alignment, so that you can then really thrive and have a thriving, inspired, and empowered business. That's what it's all about. So, I'm going to take a sip of water. Now, so there is more. I have more on my list for relationships, for business, for life. And so we're going to continue this next week, because I feel like hopefully this is empowering you and supporting you to get really clear. Oh, I'm inauthentic in this way. What can I do to become more authentic and empower yourself? That's what this is about. Is as you become more authentic, you empower yourself, and so that you can live an inspired and empowered life. That's what this is about. So, Mickey says, raising awareness in ourselves. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Mickey. And that's what I want for all of you, is to keep raising that awareness in yourself. And so that when you are in your day-to-day, you can say, oh, that's what Nancy was talking about. I just realized it. So I want to support all of you in knowing that you have the power within you to be authentic, to express your authentic self, and to know that you can express yourself in healthy ways so that you're being heard and valued and honored and respected. And we talked about that, and we talked about not having to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Remember, this is a journey, not a destination. And you're in the journey. It's learning to become more aware so that you can then choose and make choices that empower you. And so, to be continued next week on inspired and empowered living for a thriving life and business. And you can find us on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel. And you can find the podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And I look forward to seeing you. It's 5 p.m. Eastern And I look forward to connecting with you more next week. I wish you all an inspired and empowered day, night, and week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.